Hello, welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. We'll start with our first participant, which is Alvin from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Hi, Alvin.
Ajahn, Namaskar, Ajahn. Just listening in. Pay respect to you, Ajahn. No question tonight. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Professor Ken from Switzerland. You don't have to wait long tonight.
Second in the queue.
Yes. What can I do for you?
And Ajahn, I have a question regarding the body contemplation. We could consider that from the point of view of asubha or anicca or dukkha or anatta. And is it okay for us just to choose the aspect we think is most suitable, or would Ajahn recommend one or the other of these aspects?
Well, you have to know all of them. It's up to you which one you want to start with first. Basically, we start with the anicca aspect. The body changes from birth to death. So this is one you want to teach your mind to be aware of all the time, that your body is constantly changing. And eventually you'll get old, you get sick and die. That's what the Buddha saw first when he was Prince Siddhartha, when he saw the three signs, divine sign of aging, sickness, and death. This will then spur him into action, because by realizing that one day you're going to have to face the suffering of being old, of being sick and dying, you want to see if you can find a way of ridding this suffering. And the way to rid of this suffering is to accept the truth. We cannot stop the body from getting old, getting sick, or die. But we can live with it. We can accept it with a calm mind. So we need to practice samatha, bhavana, meditation to gain jhana first, so we can have equanimity. So that when we remind the mind that we will have to get old, get sick, and die, we will not feel terrible. We can readily accept it. So that's the first goal of body contemplation, to accept the changing nature of the body from birth to death. This will happen regardless of who the body is. No one can escape this process of aging, sickness, and death. And one can either go through it with suffering, or one can go through it without suffering. If one understands the nature of the body, that it is not the mind is not the body. The mind, one who contemplate or study the nature of the body, is not the body. The mind just happened to possess the body due to the craving for sensual pleasures in the mind, causing it to have a body. It needs to have a body in order for it to have access to the sensual objects, to give it pleasure. So it needs a body. And it becomes attached to the body, and even thought that it is the body itself, because the mind itself has no form or shape. The mind is just a knowing element, which needs the four elements, the body, which composes of the four elements, to access the essential objects. So it takes it takes possession of the body at the time of conception. And after the body emerges from the womb and grow up, then it uses the body to go after sensual objects. So it becomes terribly attached to the body, like an addict. An addict needs the drugs to keep it happy. So the mind needs the body in order to access the drugs, which are the 5 sensual objects. And due to delusion or ignorance, it became one and the same with the body. And whatever happens to the body, the mind feels that it is being like the body. When the body get old, the mind feel old with the body. And it becomes one with the body. So we want to separate the mind from the body by studying the nature of the body. First, anicca is temporary. Then you want to study the nature of anatta by tracing the path of the body from formation, from the start of formation to the end and when this dissolve, you'll see that it is just a combination of the 4 elements. First, from the 4 elements from the father and the mother combined. And then in the womb, it is fed by the 4 elements of the mother. And after it grows, come out of the womb, then it has to ingest the 4 elements by itself. It has to breathe to take in the wind element. It has to eat to take in the water and the earth element. And it has to have temperature, warmth, heat to keep it alive. And this is a constant process of renewal from the day of birth to the day of death. At the day of death, then the body stops functioning. Then the 4 elements start to separate from the body. First goes the air, the wind element. Then goes the next one is the fire element. The body becomes cold. Then follow the liquid element, the water element, or the liquid will then separate from the solid part of the body, leaving the body dry and all the organs dry, skin and the bones, the skeletons that are left, eventually will then return to the earth element. So you have to study this to see that the body is not a self, it is the composition of the 4 elements. It form and then one day it will dissolve. There's no body, no mind, there's no I in the body. It's just delusion, imagination of the mind, to think that the body is me, is the mind, is the one who thinks, one who knows. If you separate the body into 32 parts, you won't find a self in these 32 parts. Or you see just the parts made from the 4 elements. So this will then reinforce your understanding of the nature of the body. Firstly, it is impermanent. Secondly, it's anatta, no self. Then the next step is to study the unpleasant aspect of the body, so that the mind can then stop going after sensual pleasure with the body of other people. When you see the body of other people being pleasant, being good looking, you have sexual desire coming up. So you want to reverse the process by looking at the unpleasant side of the body. Look at when the body turns into corpse, for instance, or you can go through the 32 parts, the parts under the skin that we don't see, from the skeleton to the organs and all the fluids in the body. When you see these unpleasant parts of the body, then your sexual desire will be eliminated or suppressed. Then you won't have to live with another person to keep you happy. You can live alone. Because if you live with another person to keep you happy, that person is also impermanent. One day that person might pass away or might leave you. Then you will be alone and lonely again. But if you have no sexual desire, by seeing the body as being a super, then you won't have to have a partner. You can live alone and not be sad or lonely because you have the peace of contentment that you get from the practice of meditation, jhana. So this is the different aspects of the body that you have to investigate and remind the mind all the time, not just when you only investigate. You want to be ever ready to present this fact whenever the delusions start to come in and try to fool the mind, to deceive the mind to see the body as being permanent, as being a self, or being good looking. So if you can see all these three aspects all the time, then there will be no cravings for the body. Or attachment to the body. Is this clear enough? Or you want to ask me anything else?
No, this is very helpful, Tanajan. The sequence that you went through, this helps me a lot. It's very, very clear.
Yeah, because looking through the stages of enlightenment, the Sotapanna accept death and aging, sickness and death of the body first. Then he moves up to the next level and investigate the nature of Asupa, to let go of the sexual cravings for the body. This you look at other people's body, not at your own body. Or you can look at both. They're the same, they're similar.
Yeah.
But principally, if you want to reduce your sexual cravings, you have to look at the other person's body, the person that you have sexual craving for, which is the same as your own body.
Yeah.
So in fact, you should investigate both your body and other people's body. So you have a balanced view of the body. If you just investigate your own, then you might think you are the only person who's gonna die, for instance. But when you investigate the nature of other people's body, you see everybody also has to die. So yeah, a balanced view. The Buddha say investigate internal body, external body. I think in the what foundation of mindfulness, body contemplation, your own body and other people's body, inner body, out external body. Then you have to also, next is the nature of feelings that you also have to learn. Principally the feeling arising from the body when the body gets sick or become painful. We usually get suffering because we want the painful feeling of the body to disappear. We don't want to face it. But we cannot stop it from coming. It's anicca, anatta. It's not under our control. It is like the weather. So we have to teach the mind to accept when the painful feeling arises from the body. But we can also treat it though, if we can treat it. But first we want to teach the mind to be able to accept it first. Once you can accept it, then you will not be, you won't have any suffering when the body becomes painful. But after you have no suffering, then you can still treat the body. If the body gets sick, you go see a doctor, see what's wrong with it, and fix it. But your mind will not be disturbed whether you are treated or not, whether the body is treated or not, whether it will get well or not. The mind can take both options, a painful feeling or no painful feeling. So when you investigate, when you want to let go of your attachment to the feelings, you have to let the painful feeling arise and teach the mind to accept it, to learn to live with it, not trying to get rid of it. Because one day you'll find that you cannot get rid of some painful feeling, like when you're sick. You might be able to get rid of the painful feeling while you meditate. When you sit down and your body starts to be painful, you can change your posture. But this is something that you don't want to do. You want to teach the mind to accept the painful feeling. Because in future, when the body gets sick, you cannot just move your body and change and get rid of your painful feeling. You just have to accept it, then you would have no suffering. So that's the next object of investigation, is the feeling. And the third one is the mental states of mind. The mind also changes like the feeling. Someday you have a good mind, sometimes you have a bad mind. Sometimes you have, everything seems to be pleasant, the mind feel good. It's not feeling, it's a state of mind. Like the mind becomes peaceful, sometimes the mind becomes agitated, restless, fearful, anxious, and so forth. If you have strong mindfulness and wisdom, you can teach the mind to let go of it. Not creating any craving to change the states of mind, rather than trying to change it, teach the mind to accept it. Just like teaching the mind to accept the changing nature of the body, the changing nature of the feelings. And the mind don't have to do anything. Just let everything change, everything come and go, rise and cease. So this is the steps of investigation. You go through first the body. When you have completely deal with the body, then you do the feelings. And after that, you go to the states of mind, your emotion. Deal with your changing emotion. Sometimes you have good mood, sometimes you have bad mood. This depends on what you are exposed to. Like the 5 sensual objects, sometimes can give you good, pleasant emotion, sometimes give you bad emotion. Okay.
That's very clear, Ajahn. Very comprehensive. Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll go to, I can't remember your name, Tricycle, I'm sorry. You see your name on there.
Mike.
Mike, yeah, okay, Mike.
Greetings, Ajahn. Thank you for taking my call. I had 2 things I wanted to talk to you about today. One is about my meditation practice. It's been going rather well. I've been keeping at it every day, but the past few weeks or so, I've kind of hit a little bit of a block where during my meditation, it'll be harder to keep track of my breath, and it'll be harder to like focus, and I'll kind of like get a little dark and black out a little bit. Is this like a normal part of the meditation? You know, I went on retreat recently. You know, it was kind of like this in the beginning, and then towards the middle of the retreat, my meditation got better. But then upon coming home, I found that my meditation has gotten kind of dark again. Do you have any suggestions for how to get over these hurdles in the meditation practice?
It's due to your mindfulness, which is still not stable. It still goes up and down. So when the mindfulness goes down, then your practice go bad. When your mindfulness go up, then your practice go up, becomes good. So you have to be constantly, be as much as possible, being mindful as much as possible. Not just during meditation or during retreat. You should do it until it becomes a habit from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. But this is easy to say, but it's hard to implement, you know. But this is the goal, try to be mindful all the time. And to be mindful all the time, it's easy when you go into a retreat because you don't have to deal with people and things. But when you have to deal with people and things, you lose your mindfulness because you have to think about people and how to engage with them and how to react to them. So if you find that your practice sometimes low, it's because you're not being as mindful as before. So try to bring mindfulness back, either by reciting a mantra or by focusing on what you do with your body, watching your body activity. Or sometimes just retreat, go somewhere into a room by yourself and try just to resuscitate your mindfulness, call back your mindfulness. By stop thinking. If you can stop thinking, it means you have mindfulness. If you cannot stop thinking, then it means your mindfulness is weak. It's weak. So if you have more, if you want to get advanced in your practice, then you have to spend as much time as possible building up mindfulness. Usually on your normal day, if you have to go to work, you have an hour or so after you get up, while you're still alone, you can use that time to develop mindfulness by watching what your body is doing, taking a shower, shaving, combing your hair, getting dressed, eating, whatever, when you're still alone and not have to deal with go away from the body. You can bring it back to by using Bhutto. But after you go out of the house and start to see essential objects, start to see people, you might start to lose your mindfulness, and you start to react to those essential objects that you come across. But if you can still persist with mindfulness, you can bring it back to Bhutto. You feel that you start become involved with all the things around you and try to bring it back by mantra or by keep watching your step. Just watch your step and don't look at other people or things. Only look enough to see where you're going and not running into other people or things. But try to come back to your step. Treat it like you're doing walking meditation while you're going to work. This is the way to maintain your mindfulness in as much as possible during your working days. But if you have a day off, on your day off, if you can go to find some quiet place and be alone, then you can do more mindfulness and do more meditation. You have to give up something to get something else. You have to give up your sensual pleasures, like going to a movie, going to see your friend, or going to bars or pubs, and things like this. You have to give up if you want to have the time to develop mindfulness and meditate more successfully. You cannot have both. It's like having hot coffee or cold coffee. You have to choose one or the other. Because sensual pleasure is hot, while meditation is cool. Yeah. Goes into a different direction. Okay.
That's
Anything
really
else?
good.
You have another question, you say?
Yeah, it's similar. I think the mindfulness talk really will play to this as well, but just the idea of restraint in having protection. I feel like, especially like this month or just this time, that it feels very heated, whether it's in my interpersonal relationships or like in kind of more, big spanning relationships. And I've been trying to harness this idea of kind of like restraint of words, right speech, right now, while also trying to do things to make my surroundings better and to treat everyone around me really well. I was just curious if you had any words of wisdom about kind of restraint and restraint of words.
Well, only speak when you have to. If you don't have to speak, then just keep quiet. And if you speak with loving kindness, speak nicely and positively. If you think speaking can hurt other people and can cause conflict, then you should stop. Should not speak. Try to restrain as much as possible. Speak only when you have to, you need to. If you don't have to, need to, then just keep quiet and let other people speak. You just listen. Be more of a listener than being a speaker. The less you speak, the less likelihood or likely chance of speaking badly. Okay.
Thank you, Tanja.
You're welcome. Next, Kok Sing from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. No questions at the moment.
Okay. Next, Al Sosim from Penang, Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm just listening and paying respect to Ajahn.
How
Thank
is
you.
your mind? Okay.
Okay. Last Saturday, I went for 1 day retreat.
Okay.
The difference between retreat and normal days, during retreat,
You cannot do your practice at home. You have to go to retreat. Yes.
I can do. I do my practice daily. But when I attend retreat, I go into samadhi faster.
I
But normal
see.
days, I take sometime maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes to go into samadhi.
Because
difference
of the environment.
Maybe because I go for my exercise in the morning, then I mix with people, then I talk to them. Maybe it's the difference that it's due to mindfulness.
When you're on a retreat, you don't say anything to other people, right?
Yes, I get my silence.
Okay. You cannot make every day a retreat.
I'm going to join online retreat lah. 9 days online retreat
Okay.
this month on the
Um,
22nd to the 29th.
9 day
And I do
retreat.
at home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to do at home when you have to deal with other people. If you don't speak to them, they might think you are being snobbish or something.
I try to speak less, less
Okay.
interaction.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you
Next,
for your teaching.
Suchi. You're welcome. Suchi.
Hello, Tanaja.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Perfectly.
Thank you. My practice was a bit interrupted last week because my husband took a break from work and we were away. And so I could not confine myself to the little corner of the house to practice my meditation. And like you said, I had to accommodate his schedule and I had to practice the Brahma Vihara, Karuna, Metta, and Upekkha. And it was not easy to be mindful or keep a still mind. But this week again, now I'm alone and have got back my solitude from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'm focusing again on my mindfulness meditation. My husband also practices Buddhism, the 5 precepts and morality and charity, but not so much meditation, I think. And last week I tried to teach him what I learned from you, the mantra and mindfulness meditation. So hopefully he will also start practicing.
Yeah, what's more important is yourself. It's nice to have other people practice also if they can. But if you tell them and if he doesn't do what you ask him to do, then you just have to accept that. You have done your part.
Yes. Yes. He is receptive, but of course he has to work,
That's
to
right.
work, but he can find the time if he wants to.
Yeah, it's not easy when you have to work. You use your mind, you use your thoughts so much. When you come back, your thought is still running in your head.
Mhm.
So just accept it if he doesn't practice like you do, because he's not in the position to do so.
Yes.
But it's nice to be sharing the knowledge. But whether the person can use that knowledge or not, that's another story. That's up to him.
Yes, Tanaja.
How's your practice though? When
So
once you have your
I had to get back on track.
Mm.
So I can yesterday and today I managed half an hour of mindfulness meditation with the Buddha, the mantra. And I concentrate on what I do daily, cooking, cleaning, that kind of thing.
You notice the difference during your
Yes,
practice and when you're not practicing. The mind is different, right?
yes, yes. The mind is cluttered, and when I'm not practicing,
Mhm.
too many things are going on.
Yes, and hard to control also.
Yes, Tanajan.
Okay. You have any question tonight?
No, Tanajan, thank you.
Okay.
I have
Just
to focus on my
mindfulness.
meditation.
Yeah, mindfulness. First of all, mindfulness. Okay.
Yes, Tanajan.
Next, Philip from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Good evening, Tanajan. Good wishes from Kuala Lumpur. I don't have any questions tonight. Just happy to be listening in.
Okay. Intan from Kauchion.
Good evening, Prajan.
How's Kauchion? Is it like your house?
More better.
Better, huh? Do you feel alone? You feel being alone? No one disturb you, right?
Yes.
Anything?
At home, so many people.
Mhm.
Prajan, for many days before I come here, I just sleep below 4 hours. So today when I practice, I just can sit meditation for 1 hour when I wake up. But after that, I'm sleepy. So I try to focus and walk meditation. But after I walk 5.5 hours, I still sleepy. Then I sleep about 30 minutes. After that, I chanting and I listen Ajahn Dhamma talk. Then I continue to walk meditation, but I still sleepy until now. So Prajan have suggested for me.
Can you fast for 1 or 2 days? Not eat at all?
Oh yes, yes, I plan like that. I plan tomorrow I want to fasting.
Yes. Just take water or some fluid. Don't eat. I think this will help with your drowsiness, your sleepiness. But the body still needs to rest also. So if you at least you should let the body sleep at least 4 or 5 hours a day. But if anything more than that, then you might not need. Then the body might not need it. It's just the mind who wants to use an excuse to go from practicing to go to sleep instead. So if you still feel sleepy after you have 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day, then it's your defilement more than your body that needs it. I think if you fast, I think this sleepiness will go away. But you still need to sleep. The body still need to sleep 4 or 5 hours a day.
Okay, Prajan. Prajan, when I fasting, can I drink milk?
If you keep the 8 precept, you can only drink before midday. After
Yes.
midday, you cannot. After midday, you can drink juices, orange juice, grape juice, or apple juice, or something like that. Tea or coffee also allow, but you don't want to use it to replace your food, though.
Yes. Yes, I understand,
Only
Prajan.
use it sparingly. Only you really think you really need it to. If not, try just to drink water instead.
Yes. I just think drink one glass of milk at the morning. After that, just drink water.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Why not try not to drink anything at all except water first to see how it's like before you give in to.
Okay, thank you, Prajan. Tomorrow I try just only drink water.
Yeah. Then if you feel that your body is weak and you want to drink a glass of milk, then you can do it the next day. But if you say you can resist your desire and continue on just drinking water, and then that's better, because then your mind won't have to be thinking about drinking the milk and drinking other fluids, because there also can be sensual pleasure for you.
Yes, understand, Ajahn.
But you won't die, I guarantee you, if you fast for a few days. You have plenty of food stored in your body already. Maybe it's good for you. You can lose some weight.
Okay, Ajahn.
You get both benefit, physical and mental benefit from fasting.
Yes.
All right.
So, Ajahn, if I still sleepy, so I practice like today, just walk meditation. No need to sit meditation.
Yeah, do more walking meditation. But if you really feel that the body really wants to go to sleep and you cannot stop it, then let it sleep for an hour. And then after that, you should be able to overcome your sleepiness.
Okay, understand, Ajahn.
But you should sleep more than 5 or 6 hours at the most a day, 4 or 5 hours. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome. Next, Get Yenso from Penang.
Ajahn, good evening. Just to send regards and
Okay.
no question.
How's your practice? Okay, going well?
Yeah, I normally do walking meditation, Ajahn, and recite the Buddha names. Yeah.
Have you entered into samadhi?
Not
Not
yet.
yet, not yet. No. Okay, keep trying.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Kafai Lim from Malaysia also.
Yes, from Kuala Lumpur. Good day to you, Ajahn. Just listening. I'm glad so far. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, B. Ravin from Bangkok.
Good evening, Ajahn. Good to see you again.
Yes.
Ajahn, before I get to my question, I just wanted to let you know that I was very lucky to meet up with Sui and Czech last week. Kunjupa was very kind to arrange a lunch, and I got to meet them in person.
Okay.
They're very nice. So yeah, we had a good discussion, and I got to meet the whole family. So yeah, I don't see them in today, but just wanted to let you know it's great to meet fellow Dhamma friends, that we see in the chat for years.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have any question?
Yes, I do have one question, Ajahn. It's actually on sleeping. I heard you mention it earlier, but it seems that sleeping too much is not good. But my understanding is you do need enough sleep to boost your immune system and protect from illness. So where do I draw the fine line between not enough sleep or sleeping too much?
Like I mentioned, to have 4 or 5 hours sleep a day is sufficient for the body. The Buddha recommends monks to sleep 4 hours at night and maybe 1 hour during the afternoon, or after meal in the morning. After meal, the body might feel sleepy. He didn't recommend the 1 hour nap, but he recommended the 4 hour sleep at night. According to the sutta, I think he said, you practice from 6 to 10, then from 10 to 2, you go to sleep. Then from 2 to 6, you get up and do more meditation until time for you to go on alms round. But I add the 1 hour nap after having a meal. because that's what I normally do. That's
see.
enough. 5 hours, sufficient.
So the body will adjust, because I've tried sleeping 4 or 5 hours. I feel very sleepy the next day.
Yeah, you have to, this is on the standard of monks, which is different from laymen. Laymen still have to work, and maybe they have use a lot more energy, and they might need more time to rest because they eat more also. They eat 3 times a day, while monks only eat once a day. So that's the different factors to consider. So I'm not saying you should do like monks do, but I'm just trying to let you know the normal standard for monks as taught by the Buddha. But according to medical science, they usually recommend 8 hours for lay people, right, a day of sleep. So it's up to you to, if you're not on a retreat, if you're not keeping the 8 precepts, then you might have to you might have to sleep 8 hours a day because you have to go to work and eat 3 meals a day. But if you're on a retreat, you might eat once a day, and then you might be able to sleep just 4 or 5 hours a day. So this is different standard, different level of practice.
So is that why there's the 8th precept, to prevent us from sleeping for too long?
Well, that's part of it. You don't eat after midday, and you don't sleep on comfortable bed.
So it's to reduce the time we waste and maximize our time for practice.
That's right. Right.
Actually, Prajan, on days where I work from home, I skip the evening meal, and I find that it helps me with better mindfulness and concentration because I don't get drowsy in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I continue to do. 2
Good.
meals a day is enough
Good.
for me.
All right.
So I try to, take parts of the 8 precepts to apply to my own practice.
Mm-hmm.
So now I understand the sleeping element. So it's just choose what is reasonable, but don't overdo it. As in, like,
middle
lounging
path,
in bed for hours.
using the middle way. It depends on your ability to do things also. If you try to do more than what you can do, you'll find maybe it can be counterproductive.
Yes, I do remember actually when I went on a retreat years ago and I had to sleep on the floor. I actually realized the body required less sleep. I would automatically get up sleeping less hours than if I were on a comfortable mattress.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an observation I made.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else?
Not for the time being. Thank you.
All right. You plan to become a monk, maybe temporarily?
Yes, I do have plans next year to ordain as a monk for around a month. It's something I've planned for many years, and I hope to do so.
Okay. You need to have a target. If you don't, then it just keep pushing it away.
I understand. I'm not pushing it away. I've actually set this goal for years. I just need to finish my MBA, and then now I'll be ready.
Okay.
So yes, it's a goal that I want to do, not just for myself, but for my family as well. So.
Okay, good news. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Prajan, for your advice.
Okay, next, Alex Turpin from the UK. Please unmute your microphone.
Hello, Ajahn.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Ajahn, I would like to ask you some questions, please, about my practice. One is about, so I've been enjoying, because I moved house relatively recently, and that means I get to enjoy a lot more time in the forest, which has been beneficial for my meditation because it's a very quiet forest where there are very few people. So that's good. But one thing I've found is I still really struggle to maintain my mindfulness. And I've tried Buddho, but it still doesn't seem powerful enough. One thing I noticed the other day is I replaced Buddho with the phrases, the metta phrases, may I be well, or may this person be well. And I think that really helped with my mindfulness. There seems to be two aspects of mindfulness I noticed. One is the sort of noticing the physical sensation, so footsteps, for example, and then the other is the like the verbal aspect. It's like maybe like a verbal aspect, and I've noticed that if I can, it's like my mind has a need to focus on words as well as on form, and if I can like satisfy that part of the mind with metta words, it helps. But otherwise, Buddha doesn't seem to be doing it. Do you know why that would be?
Maybe it's just your character. You prefer something like words to understand. Why Buddha might not give you any meaning, and you might not be attracted to it. But for Buddhists in Thailand, they have great respect for the Buddha. So by reciting the name of the Buddha, they feel that they are empowering themselves by bringing in the Buddha inside their mind. But they feel more confident, more if they can recite or think of the Buddha. So it's up to you. You can find whichever way, whichever method that can make you become more mindful. The goal is to stop thinking as much as possible.
I find it most difficult when I'm trying not to use any words at all, when I'm just focusing on, for example, my footsteps. It's like I need some words. Is
Yeah,
that because
go
my
ahead. It's
mind?
okay. It's okay to do it.
Okay. Will I assume I will eventually get to a point where I don't need to use words anymore. Is that right?
Just merely knowing what you're doing.
Okay. I also, when I do walking meditation, I've noticed that when I do, I find it much more difficult to do, say, 20, 30 steps and then turn around, as I believe one is supposed to do. But I've noticed when I don't count the number of steps, or where I just walk freely, so do long distance walking, I find that it's easier to focus, to be mindful. Do you know why that would be, please?
Well, there's no need to know why. Just know what. If it's good for you, then okay. That's all you have to know. Do what is good for
Okay,
you.
I was just wondering whether there was something specific about the walking 20 steps and then turning around that was significant that I'm missing out on.
No, it's because monks, we're not supposed to go wandering all over the place. We are supposed to stay in our secluded area, and not like lay people. You can go walk around the park or things like that. But monks can just go out and walk around the park for meditation, walking. We have our place. We have to stay in a remote, away from people and things. So usually we have to make a walking path, which is 25 or 30 steps is suffice for walking back and forth.
I see. So it's not for the purposes of any sort of advantage in terms of mindfulness. It's purely because of the reasons you've mentioned.
That's right.
Okay.
We only do long meditation in the morning when we go collect alms food. In the morning when we go collect alms, then we do long walking meditation along the route that we walk while we're collecting food at the same time.
I see.
But monks are not supposed to go congregate with people. We're supposed to stay in remote places not go into homes and towns and cities where there are
I see.
too many distractions. We're supposed
see.
to be practicing in a remote area, like in the forest.
Okay.
But if we have to, like in the morning, we have to collect food in the village, then we try to use that as another way of doing mindfulness meditation, being mindful of our steps and mindful when people give us food, receiving food.
See.
But that's the only time we go out and we have to use mindfulness. We can use mindfulness in this regard. But otherwise, if we feel sleepy or we feel the body needs to change posture, then we use walking meditation. We have a path near next to where we live, so we don't go and disturb other people, and no other people will come disturb us also.
Yes, yes. I'm very fortunate, as I've said, to be in a near a forest where there are hardly any people, and I've found walking meditation to be particularly beneficial because I've experienced chronic tiredness for 1 or 2 years at least. So I find walking meditation to be very, very helpful. Stops me from falling asleep.
Good. If you find you can walk long distance and be not distracted by people or things, then it's okay.
I also wanted to ask Tanajan about dana. It's something that I have been paying a lot of attention to, I would say, over the past few months in particular. And I've been trying to, I think I'm very stingy by nature, and I've tried to overcome that stinginess by being generous. But I've tried to start small by, maybe buying some fruit from the shop and then giving it to my work colleagues or whoever, happens to be around. And I found that to be helpful because fruit is not too expensive and it's quite beneficial to other people. And I'm hoping to be more and more generous, and but I'm trying to start small, and I want to I want to see how much I can give without feeling any regret or without feeling any as if I'm spending too much or something like that. One thing I'm noticing about my intentions, just not when I buy fruit, but when I don't know, well, just generally when I'm trying to give, is I've noticed that the quality of my intentions has gone down, because whereas before, on those rare occasions when I would give to someone, I didn't have anything, expectations in mind, right? Whereas now, pretty much every time I give, I'm thinking about what will be the karmic fruit of that. And it feels a bit, I don't know, it maybe feels not very good quality intention. So how do I get to the point where I believe the Buddha gave a number of a number of reasons, a number of intentions a person should have for being generous. And I think the highest one is that it would be an ornament for the mind. How do I get to the point where the quality of my intention when giving is as high as possible, please?
Well, the principal reason for giving is to let go of your attachment to your possession. Because when you're attached to your possession, you become, your mind become worry or anxious, and you have to guard your possession. So the goal is not to let your mind be encumbered with this attachment to possession. You should have enough for your survival, for your body. But anything more than that, then just let it. Then don't keep it. Give it away to whoever you want to give. Because eventually, if you want to advance in this path, you're going to have to become a monk one day, and you have to give up all your money.
Yes.
So
is there a specific thing? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a specific I like it when I can have like a specific phrase in mind when I'm giving something. I think that helps. Do you have any specific phrases that you would recommend?
Well, people believe that by giving, it will move them closer to Nibbana. Because the more you give, then the more you will be more likely to become a monk soon. And then you will have more time to do the practice. Don't use money for getting rid of your dukkha or your suffering, giving you happiness. Money is only good for providing you with the 4 basic requisites of life, of living. Because if you still depend on money to keep you happy, then you will not be able to progress. You have to change the way of making you happy. Instead of spending money on things to keep you happy, you should have more time to do meditation practice. And be happy from the practice of meditation instead. Because you don't need to have money when you meditate. Then you can,
Yes.
if you don't need money, then you can start working, see. Then you will have more time to meditate and more time to practice. And eventually you will find that you're ready to go become a monk because you find that there's no need to have any money, no need to do any work anymore.
Yes, yes. Well, as I think I mentioned before a while ago, I do intend, once I've paid off my student loans, I do intend to become a monk. But obviously, I can't give away all my money because I have debts to pay off. Yeah.
Well, you cannot ordain yet if if you're still in debt. This is one of
That's
the
right.
prerequisite for the ordination.
Yes.
You have to be free from
Yes.
debt.
Yes.
And you're not supposed to bring any money with you when you become ordained. You don't rely. Monks are not supposed to possess any money for pleasure anyway. But
Yes.
they can.
I mean,
They can
sorry.
use money for maybe for medical reason or something like that. They can still use that.
I don't currently spend money on entertainment. I only, I spend money on, food and, a few medical things, and that's about it.
Okay.
And obviously in accommodation and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, then you need this money for this purpose. But anything more than that,
Yes.
then you should give away.
Yes. Yes.
This will stop your greed from accumulating wealth. Some people just like to accumulate wealth and no any particular reason. They don't spend it, but they just want to have more wealth. And this ties them to their working. They have to work more, and then they have to manage their wealth, so they won't have time to meditate.
Yes. Yes. No, I don't think I'm going down that route. No, I don't think there's any fear of that. Thanajan, I would like to ask you, if I may, about one other thing today, and that's anger. I've really been struggling with anger at the moment, and I don't know what to do. I feel very helpless. I know there are the techniques of focusing on the positive qualities of the person and reciting Buddho, 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 and seeing the person as like the weather, but I feel I need something stronger.
The cause of your anger is you're wanting something. When you want something and you don't get what you want, you become angry. So try to reduce your want.
It's difficult because most of my
take things as they come. Don't expect to be like this or be like that. When things don't go as you expected, then you can become angry.
A lot of my wants are to do with being in the right environment for my meditation practice. So, for example, if I'm if I'm at home and I live with my brother at the moment, and if he makes some noise, I will get irritated at him, because it will disturb my meditation practice, say. So some of the anger has to do with other people disturbing my peace and my ability to practice in calm and in solitude.
Well, even that one, you have to get rid of if you want to avoid having any anger. Because you cannot stop them from disturbing you. So you just have to accept it. Yeah.
Is that something that Tanajan has to experience a lot in the monastery, or is it very peaceful and quiet?
Well, usually if you can find a remote area, then there's no disturbance. But occasionally you might have some people coming in and disturb you. Then you just have to adapt your expectation, reduce your expectation. Okay, now I have disturbance, and learn to live with the disturbance. Then you won't get angry at them.
See.
So you have to reduce your expectation or your want as the condition changes. Ideally, you want to, to be alone, be peaceful, but sometimes you have to engage, you have to get involved with people or things, then you have to change your expectation, your want, and adapt to the real situation. Because things keep changing all the time, see. So you have to keep adapting to the changing circumstances. Do you understand what I say?
I understand what you're saying intellectually, but putting it into practice can be much more difficult.
Yeah, just take things as they come, like taking the weather. Can you change the weather? Can you expect the weather to be like this or like that?
No.
Okay, just accept the same way with everything. They're like the weather. They're not they're not under your control. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they might not be. So when they are not under your control, then you have to let them be. So you have to adjust your expectation, your want from time to time to suit with the situation.
Yes. I've actually noticed in my meditation, there are some times when, I don't know, maybe I've had a very stressful or tiring day and I can't concentrate as well, and I have lower, or maybe I have less time. My meditation sessions can actually go better than if I have, say, 3 hours to myself in the forest, because if I have 3 hours to myself in the forest, my expectations of my meditation session are very high. But if I only have half an hour at the end of each day, at the end of a given day, I might not have high expectations, and therefore whatever I do, whatever benefits I might get in that relatively short session, I don't really expect necessarily. And I think, yeah.
Yeah, don't expect, then you don't get disappointed when you don't get what you expect.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But you try to put in the effort, do what you can do. But the result might vary from time to time.
Yes.
So don't expect the result. Do what you can do, and whatever comes from that, accept that.
It's hard because I don't want to become too passive, or part of me thinks if I don't will it hard enough, then it's not going to happen. I'm not going to attain enlightenment.
No, you can work hard, but working hard doesn't guarantee that you'll get the result either. See what I'm saying? You can work as hard as you can, but sometimes the results still don't come. Then you just have to accept that. Maybe it's not yet time for it to come up, the result. Maybe your effort is not good enough or not right or correct. So you might have to improve your effort, change your method of practice or something to eventually get the result. The point is not to expect anything. That's the best answer, really. Just take things as they come. But this doesn't mean you don't do anything. You still do what you have to do. You still have to work hard, put in the effort, and so forth. But whatever the result, you don't expect it. Just let it be, let it come and go. Because you don't know.
I understand. Sorry.
You cannot control the result. You can control your effort. So control your effort by putting in
Yes.
the effort. And whatever result come from that, you have to accept it. Maybe it's not yet time for the result to show. Okay, just accept that. Maybe it might show up tomorrow or 2 more sessions, who knows. But just keep on doing your part, doing the practice, putting the effort, work hard. Okay?
Yes. Thank you, Dhamma.
All right, you're welcome. Next, Ubeka from Sao Paulo. Hi, Alfredo. Is the festival over now?
Okay.
Yes, can hear you now.
Oh, the party finished.
Party is over, huh? Like the saying
Yes, I
go,
don't participate.
the party don't go on forever.
Yes, I don't participate. I do a retire here, meditate and learn Dhamma talks.
Yeah, meditation
good.
is the better party. Meditate is a good party. Never ends.
Yes.
This party never ends. You can have this party all the time.
Yes. My mind is very clear. I like sunyata, but I like not things. I know I think that my life is alone. Né? Então I do the things in in sunyata, né?
Yes, sunyata means to be alone and to have nothing to make you happy. People usually need to have something to keep them happy, but the real happiness is coming from having nothing.
Yes.
Happiness from emptiness, from sunyata.
Yes. Paticca Samuppada, né, Banda? Not entering Paticca Samuppada. It's very difficult, né, but Paticca Samuppada is always.
Yes, you have to go after sensual pleasure, sensual cravings.
Yes.
You need sensual objects. So when you need sensual objects, you need to have a body. So you have birth, rebirth, then you have aging, sickness, and death. If you have no sensual cravings, then you don't need a body. Then no birth, no aging, sickness, and death. Yeah.
Yes. Only elements, only 5 elements.
Yeah, element existing in their natural form.
Yes.
Okay.
It's okay, Bante.
All right. Is that all you have to say for tonight?
Yes. I don't enter in for jhana, Bante.
You have to do more mindfulness, do more meditation. Maybe you have to become a monk one day. Then you can have all the time.
I will try.
Yeah.
I will try more.
All right.
Okay.
Next, Riona from Surabaya, Indonesia.
Madam Ajahn.
What can I do for you?
I want to ask. Last week, I went to Purpa Hill in India, and the people said Makasapa has been waiting there, entering Nirodha to await my Mataya Buddha. Ajahn, it is possible for an Arahant to wait for such a long time?
I don't know. I don't think so. Don't worry about it. If you cannot prove it, just ignore what other people say. Okay.
Yes.
Is that all?
Yes.
All right. I'll go to Rohini then. In the UK. Hi, Rohini.
Good evening, Ajahn. How are
Yes,
you?
fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you. I have no questions. I just want to pay my respect to Ajahn and listen. And
No, your mind is happy, calm, and
yes,
happy.
yes, yes.
Okay. Not restless or agitated.
Not really, no, because I live alone just now.
Okay.
So
Good.
my meditation is better at night than during the day. So I started walking meditation as well. So
Good. Just try to be
yeah,
mindful all the time, all around the clock.
I try, but mindfulness is still weak. Mm,
Yeah, just keep doing it. Like
yeah,
the song called Rock Around the Clock.
yeah,
Be mindful around the clock, okay? From the time you get up to the time you go to sleep.
yeah. That's what I try to do as Ajahn advised us to do. But it's a hard work. Yeah, I try.
Yeah, at the beginning it's hard, but as you keep doing it, it will become easy as you advance, as you progress.
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
So be patient and work hard. This is the
Yeah,
one that will push you to the goal.
yeah. Now I know at least what I have to do, and um, I have a good understanding. But only thing is just putting it into practice.
Yeah, know your goal and know your path.
Yes, I
Okay,
know.
good.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Ajahn.
welcome. Next, Marco from Holland.
Hi, Tanajan. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Good, good. Would like to report on my homework, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
Walking meditation has been going well. I have the feeling the mind is settling down. Keeping with my footsteps is going well. My meditation session seemed to be going well. I did have a question, though. I've read in the Kamatana book from Luangta about the moment when the chitta recedes from samadhi. How do you know what the moment is? Is that like a clear sign that you get? Because I'm trying to refrain from setting the time when I do my meditation to just let it go along, which in the morning is not possible.
When you feel the urge to get up, you want to go do something, then this is the time your mind is receding from samadhi, from resting.
Oh, okay.
When you start to feel that you need to do some action, to do something, you
Okay,
can no
so
longer remain in samadhi. If you want to remain, then you have to restart your mantra or watching your breath. You start your meditation process again.
I had the feeling yesterday that I didn't want to stop, and it felt really nice, really good, really calm. But it was already quite late. But I was just curious if there was like a clear sign, but it's basically when you feel the urge to start getting up or start moving or something like that.
Yes, but Dhamma Maharaj also recommend that when you meditate, don't try to set up the time
No.
because when your mind is in samadhi, you don't want to force it out. Because if you force it out, the next time it will be difficult to force it back in again. So let it come out on its own. Once it enter into samadhi, don't try to pull it out unless there's something real important, like emergency things. Otherwise, let it come out by itself.
Is that when as a monk, that if it's time for the alms round in the morning,
Yeah,
it's
when it's time
that
to go do sweeping or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know ahead of time how long you can meditate before you have to come out. So usually we spend more meditation at night because there is no time limit on how long you can meditate.
Yeah, that's what I notice as well when I do it in the evening, that I don't really feel the pressure of having to get up or go for work or do something else. But it does help in the morning to try to get some peace before work actually started. And one other, I would like to ask some advice on how to deal with strong emotions like anger or agitation. So I've had some difficult situations in my workplace, which are getting a little bit better now. but I noticed that it's impossible to make it positive. It's a negative feeling. How can I try to make it at least like equanimous?
Just like I mentioned to Alex earlier on, if you want an expectation that's caused you to become rigid, you have to be flexible. Treat everything like the weather. Don't set a goal, a certain expectation from them. Let them happen. Let it happen, whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, and that's why I think for me that's difficult personally. It's because it makes complete sense, but it's because I feel, how do you say, responsibility towards work, and something for work is not happening. So my craving is more from a work perspective because personally it shouldn't matter, but then still I care about it, which is difficult to let it go, which is also why I think it's so difficult to work and do your practice, because you get this third angle that you have to worry about, which is work and responsibility, right? So it's quite difficult to get into the right fit, but I'm trying to deal with it. I'm trying to indeed, like you said, try to see it as the weather. I don't control it, let it go. But it does help me to actually put everything in perspective. Why am I working? What's the purpose in the end, right? I'm doing this for this body, to sustain this body, but do I want to do this? Is this the right way to do it? If it's going at the cost of my samadhi, then why am I still doing this? Why do I think this is so important?
Because you have
And
to
that
feed
raises a lot of
you have
questions.
to feed your body. That's the main reason for working, to feed your
Yeah.
body, to look after your body. Even monks have
Yeah.
to look after the body by going on arms round. That's how we work. We work about 1 hour a day, collecting arms round.
And no control over what you can eat.
That's right. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Which is a good thing in a way too, right?
Yeah, don't
So
expect. See, just take whatever comes. The Buddha said, just practice santosa. Santosa means just be flexible. Don't expect anything. Let things happen. Take
yeah,
whatever comes. Yeah.
that's the right approach. And one more question that I had on the clinging. So clinging from a perspective where you know that you're clinging onto things that you like doing, the reason of getting back into being born cause a rebirth. How does it work with the opposite of like clinging, not clinging, that you don't want something to be? Because that's the other side of the coin, right? It's the
The negative attraction, aversion.
aversion. And it works in the same way.
You don't want painful feeling. You don't want to lose money once, and you don't want to lose the one you love. These are the negative. We call aversion, right?
And is it a good analogy to say like that by not wanting to let go, you actually hold on to it, even though you don't want to hold on to the negative feeling, you're still holding on to that because it's still that image that you have of it.
Because you want to get rid of it. See, so you have to try to fix it. But
Yeah.
sometimes you cannot get rid of it. You just have to accept it. The goal is to teach the mind not to manage the weather. Everything is like the weather. Let the weather manage itself. Let everything come and go.
And if the clothing gets wet, then just deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or do what you can, manage what you can. But anything beyond your control, then you just have to let go.
Yeah, that's one of the other things that I've realized, that in the past I would be more like, well, since I don't control it anyway, I don't hold on to, how do you say, I don't even strive. And that's the other negative, right? It should be the middle way. You should at least strive to do the best you can.
There are things you can do. There are things you can manage. There are things you can control. Then do it. But if it's beyond your capacity or ability to control, then you just have to let go. If you don't want to have any anxiety or stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tanaja.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank
You still working today, or you take a day off on today?
I'm working from home, so decided to go home early. My days are sometimes a bit long, but
Yeah, okay, good.
thank you, Tanajan.
How's your total picture from your practice better?
Yeah, I feel I have less doubts, which is good. I have more confidence in what I'm doing. I'm trying to also speak less about what I did. So there's a colleague at work who's also very much into meditation. I used to talk to him a lot, but I realized that actually that created more doubts for myself. So I try to kind of lessen that because it's not really the influence that I need, I think. And I'm realizing that by just doing the practice and sticking to the practice and not having the expectations, it actually brings the best results. So it's like one of the previous students was saying, so when you don't have the expectation that your meditation goes well, it actually goes so much better. And it's then what intrigues me is how do I stimulate that feeling, and that's difficult. But then I feel overall it's been going pretty well. I feel I'm more at peace. I feel I'm understanding that I have less control about some of the thoughts that come up. I feel that I'm letting go better. Motivated is the right word. I noticed the last couple of weeks were difficult because of work, but at the same time, I'm taking them as let's say, as a hurdle, as a positive hurdle. I think that everything that's coming my way, I need to be able to deal with. And by dealing with it, you learn from it. And the more difficult it becomes, the better you see the suffering of it. But at the same time, it allows you to, okay, so this is my practice. How do I do my practice in the proper way around it? And it's given me a sense of stability, I think, because whatever happens, there's the practice that I can hold on to. I know that it's holding on, but it's a positive holding on to doing something properly, at least. That's what it feels like. So I think it's going in the right direction.
So overall, your mental health is better. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fine. And you find Buddhist practices is beneficial for your mental health.
Oh, absolutely. I would recommend it to everybody. I don't even understand why they don't teach this in school. It makes complete sense. Like everybody sits in their screens. It's like, go away from the screens. It's way better not to be at the screens. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
really good.
All right. Happy to hear that.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Next, Mahesh. Where are you from? The States? Which state? California?
Good evening, Tanajan. Yes, I'm from California.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, this week I noticed my practice was a bit difficult because I was running into some patterns of addiction, like which were difficult. I tried to pull myself back, and again they came back, and again I pull myself back, and right now I'm in last day or so. I'm back to practicing good. So yeah, but I'll continue to fight them if they come up more. But we'll try to continue practicing again. Couple of questions I have are like one is whenever I'm on my computer, let's say I'm doing my computer work, it becomes like doing being mindful. Obviously, doing Buddha is I can't do that because I have to think and then do there's a lot more thinking that is necessary there. So any suggestions on how to be mindful while I'm doing my computer work, because that takes up a good chunk of my day's work.
Well, you focus on what you do, what you see on your computer screen. Use it as the object of mindfulness.
Okay, just focusing on my work. Okay. And the second thing is for ordaining temporarily as a monk. Is there like I want to understand what does it cause a karmic benefit, or compared to, let's say, doing a 3-month retreat versus being a temporary monk as a 3-month? What is the advantage?
In Thailand, it's become a ritual or become a tradition for Thai males at the age of 20 to become a monk, to pay back to show their gratitude toward their parents, because believe that once you have been ordained, you can help send your parents to heaven also. So this is temporarily, and it's not true. It has some truth in it, but not entirely. You know, there are some conditions attached to it for it to become true. Like if the son never goes to the temple, and the parents don't go to the temple either. See, so when the son go and live in the temple as a monk, then the parent will have to go to the temple and visit the son. And by going to the temple, then the parents can start to learn about the teaching of the Buddha and practicing the teaching of the Buddha. And that itself is the one that will send them to heaven. Like if they keep the 5 precepts and if they give dana, then this will be the condition that will allow the mind to go to heaven after death.
So, for example, if when I'm thinking about this myself, right, like, is there a benefit to ordaining temporarily as a monk for 3 months if I take vacation of work and then ordain compared to doing a 3-month retreat?
Well, it depends on what you want. But if you ask me, I think you don't have to ordain better. If you can practice meditation as a layman, just do it. But you have to go live in a retreat in a temple where you can have full-time practice. Because becoming a monk, you are also encumbered or burdened with the way of living a life of a monk. You have to keep the 227 precepts, and you have to the custom of being a monk. You know, how to put on your robes and when to put on with what type of robes and when not to put on. And there are some other activities we got concerning monks to do also.
But
So if you want to practice meditation, then you can skip the ordination and go out and practice for 3 months in a monastery.
Okay, but eventually, being a monk is the one that gives most progress, right? Compared to like as a layperson doing meditation, even if we get to do like a retreat all the time, that
Well,
compared to being a monk.
Yeah, you have, as a monk, you don't have to worry about working, say, earning money, because
Right.
you are provided with the 4 living requisites of life by the lay people. So this is the difference between being a monk and a layman.
So
As a
let's say,
layman, you still have to provide yourself with the 4 requisites of life.
let's say after a certain time, if I don't need to, like if I move to a low cost place and don't need to work, then is it better to ordain as a monk or just practice as a layperson? Is there a difference, big difference?
If you want to, on a long-term basis, becoming a monk is better. But on a short-term basis, it doesn't matter whether becoming a monk or not.
Okay. One more question related, not related, but yeah. So during walk, we have clear stages for mindfulness of breathing, sitting meditation. But for walking meditation, what are the stages of progress? Do you enter jhanas or get into concentrated, or like what are the stages?
Well, you don't enter into jhana by walking because the mind has to control the body. The mind has to work. So it's not easy for it to enter into jhana in walking posture. You have to sit down. But you need to walk from time to time because to relieve the ache and pain of the body from sitting for too long. So you do walking just to ease the physical pain, but at the same time also using it as a way of practicing mindfulness at the same time. But you don't get the intense mindfulness, the intense result from walking meditation as you would from sitting in meditation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dhamma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, Jacob from Germany, right? You've been away for a while.
Yes, I've been away for a while. It's been quite turbulent, so to speak. But your advice, I think, was really helpful, and I'm in a much better emotional state right now, even though I was not able to enter into jhana.
Yeah, it's not easy to enter jhana.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Just be mindful enough to calm your mind from agitation and restlessness. That's good enough.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's working quite well. And I think I might have a tendency towards, I've heard that there's people who are more inclined to samadhi and more inclined to wisdom. And I think my mind prefers to think about the body more than getting into calm. So sometimes at least. But I'm practicing calm and I'm getting quite good benefits from that.
Yes, good. You have
And
a question tonight?
Yes, I have a question, and I have like one very big, but I think very irrational fear. But maybe you can help me get rid of that, which is that I might, out of the blue, become enlightened as a lay person, and then my life situation won't be in circumstances where my life will be maintained and I will die, and I'm afraid of that. But I guess the Arahant has no problem with that. So
that's not the truth, though. You don't die because you become enlightened. You know, the body and the mind are two separate entities. You mean
so
you say,
even when you're
you say that if you become enlightened, you have to ordain, or else you would die, right?
Yeah.
That's just a false belief. It's not true.
Which part is not true?
That you will die after you become enlightened and you haven't yet become a monk. I think there's a belief. There's a belief. Someone said that once you become enlightened, you have to become a monk within 7 days. If not, you will die. There's no basis of fact to support that, except there are a couple of situations that might be interpreted likewise. Like the Buddha's father became enlightened 7 days before he passed away. He passed away because of his illness, not because he became enlightened.
Okay, so I don't need to stop striving for enlightenment as long as I'm still a lay person.
Go ahead, but eventually, once you become enlightened, you find that you will no longer want to be a layman anyway.
I don't want to be a layman anyway, but
that's right.
At the moment, I would like to ordain, but at the moment, it will get me into a lot of trouble with my parents if I do it right now. So I'll wait a little longer.
Yeah, don't worry about. Don't worry that you will die or have any problem after you become enlightened. Once you become enlightened, you won't have problem with anybody. I believe me. Trust me. You're not going to cause any problem to anybody.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, good.
That's it for today. Thank you.
Next, Marsha from Ohio. Haven't seen you for a few weeks.
Hello. Yeah, I've been catching you on the Facebook Live, or I watch the recordings when they're posted later. But yeah, everything is going really well. I really have seems like I have much more equanimity all the time.
Contentment, yeah, you have contentment.
Yeah, pretty much happy, content, whatever happens. It like doesn't shake my mind.
Good.
It's like just this is how it is right now.
It's like drop of water on the lotus leaf. They don't combine. They live separately, exist separately.
Yeah, much more.
Your mind, everything else exists separately.
Yes. It was after that experience of slipping out of the body, just made a huge difference in everything.
Yeah.
It's like everything.
You realize your mind and the body is not the same anymore.
Yeah, really know it, you know. Well,
really
know
see
it.
it. Really see it.
Really see it. So yeah, I didn't feel the need to come into the Zoom. But I thought, oh, let me come in the Zoom today and just share the space.
Hello. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay not to join. I just didn't mention it because I wanted you to join. I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I probably won't join so much anymore. I did have one question. I was always instructed in this practice that the correct way to practice is to see the mind and the object appearing and disappearing together. And it's
That's a
pretty,
wrong conception. The mind doesn't disappear. The mind who knows always knows. It knows that the object comes and go, but the mind doesn't come and go. The mind's always watching, always observing, always knowing. But what they mean by they mean the emotion that arises and sits with the object. That happens. When you see a good object, you have good emotion, for instance. When that object passes away, then the good emotion also disappear. But the mind, the knowing mind is still there.
okay.
So
That was the exactly thing. I thought, how does the knowing appear and disappear? I thought, and then is emptiness in between. And I had a little confusion on that. So the knowing is always there.
Always there, always on, 24 hours.
Knowing is always knowing something.
But the emotion that arises from with other objects come and go, just like the other objects. When you have a good meal, you have good emotion. Then after that, when the meal passes away, then the good emotion also pass away. Replaced by some other thing.
Right. Okay, so that all makes sense now. I thought maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm still not doing it quite right. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yes, the mind has so many different meanings. If you don't practice, you cannot differentiate them apart.
I also just thought I'd ask one other thing. There's a Thai temple near to where I live, about a half an hour, and I'll go out there. And I've known that monk for about 10 years, but I'm not out there very much. And I went recently, and he said that they're taking a group of people to Bodh Gaya in December. And he said, well, why don't you come? Why don't you join us for the trip? And is that an important thing to do in your lifetime as a Buddhist or a meditator?
No, if you're still doubtful of the Buddha, then you should go. But if you're no longer doubtful of him, then there's no need to go. I never went, and I never will. Because I have no doubt in the Buddha, in his Dhamma, and in the Sangha. But for some people, they still haven't yet grasped the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha. So they need to go to a place where the Buddha used to live to reinforce their belief. Then it's good for that type of people who are still doubtful about the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. For them to go visit places like this will then kind of reinforce their belief, their faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. But if you already believe in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you know they existed in the past and they still do in the present, then there's no need to go. But you can still go if you like, just take a trip just for pleasure, maybe, or just for.
Well, I'm thinking it'd probably be better for me at my age to save my money for the next dental bill and the medical bill, so that I wouldn't have to ask my children for help.
Yeah, that's better decision.
Is that?
Yeah.
Good. Because that's sort of where I was leaning. I thought, do I really need to travel halfway around the world? My faith is really solid.
Yeah, solid. Then there's no need. It won't reinforce your faith any more than that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's all. And I will be catching you on the Facebook Live at least, but maybe not so much in the Zoom.
Yeah, don't worry. Come in whenever you feel like. I just mentioned it after the fact, that's all.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
All right, next, Julia, also the same. She comes and go like as she likes. Sometimes she comes in, sometimes she doesn't. How are you?
Hello, Ajahn. Is Ajahn well?
Well, you can, I'm always well, you know that. If I'm not well, I won't be here.
Okay. Uh, hmm. I think any question I can think of, it just dissolved, or Ajahn answers it on the screen to someone else. So
Yeah, don't worry too much about question. I think concentrate more on mindfulness better.
okay.
So you have question because you think, but if you have mindfulness, then you don't think, and when you don't think, you don't have question coming up.
Yeah, it's very peaceful then.
Yeah, it's a good way of getting rid of your question is to not to think by using mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness, you control your thought. Then when there's no thought, then there is no questions.
Yeah. When I was, yeah, right, good, yes, excellent, I agree. When I was trying to think of a question, I did think.
Yeah.
You know, the monastics, right? There's a puja in the morning and the puja in the evening. So after the day of practice, sometimes just in the regular lifestyle, there's a dedication, by the goodness that arises from my practice. May my teachers and my relatives and my guides of great virtue and the sun and the moon and the leaders of the world and the Lord of death, and may they all receive the blessings of this life and practice, so forth. But just as a layperson in this life, I've been experimenting after I formally sit on the cushion. It feels like I have to generate extra thinking to do that. So how does a layperson navigate that piece?
Navigate what? The thoughts?
No, like, do I have to dedicate the
No,
merit?
don't worry about dedication. Just do the practice. These are more like ornament. People dream of ornament, about dedicating whatever you have to other people or other spirits. This is more imagination rather than truth, So don't worry about the goal of meditation is to improve your mind, free your mind from suffering. That's all. As far as dedicating whatever, that's just I think this is just an imagination by someone, and then pass it on to other, and other people start to believe in this thing.
Okay.
You meditate, you practice to get rid of your dukkha. That's the goal. That's all. Not for other people, not for other spirit. So you don't need to dedicate anything to anybody. Dedicate it all to yourself.
Okay. See, on one hand, I live near a community of practitioners where the dedication is very, well, maybe an hour away. To them, in their lineage, it's very important. But for me, it just feels exhausting, like extra loud thoughts. And I just enjoy just.
It's what the goal is to stop thinking, not to spread the thoughts,
Okay.
And you can only dedicate or help other people after you become enlightened. If you haven't yet become enlightened, don't worry about helping other people, or spirit, or whatever. Just concentrate on your practice. But after you become enlightened, then you can teach other people about the Dhamma.
Okay, so then I have one more question. So I know that some people when they encounter the difficult situations, there's this idea that one should reject that or just bring all of the attention inside and focus on the mind, the space of the mind.
Yes, just stay calm and don't react. That's the goal. Well, you
So,
can
but I have another teacher over the years, and he tries to point everyone to liberation. So if he encounters an unpleasant entity of any sort, then rather than disconnecting, then he will connect with that being and attempt to help that being get liberated. He's a Thai monk.
Well, it's a personal choice, I think. But if we speak from the practical point of practice, we try to leave everything alone. Don't react to anything. Let everything be, everything according to their karma. I leave you alone to your karma. Whether good or bad karma, your good or bad karma will take care of you. There's no need for me to do anything to you. Unless you ask for help, then I do it. But I don't go out of my way try to help you when you don't need my help.
Okay.
Okay? It doesn't mean every being you come across, you got to help them, you know. That's not the point. The point is only help those who want to be helped. If they ask for your assistance, if you can help them, then you help them.
Okay.
All right?
Anumodana ka.
Okay. Next, I'll go to Lin from Indonesia.
Good evening, and Ajahn. Hope you are well and healthy.
Thank you.
I don't have questions tonight.
Go ahead.
I don't have any questions.
Oh, you don't have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then I'll move on then. I'll go to Tommy from Australia. Hi, Tommy. You still on your retreat?
Still on my retreat, coming up to 108 days.
You find it good for you?
Very good.
Okay.
I went from maybe 3.5 precepts and sitting 12 minutes a day. And I know Sajik the other night I sit for 12 hours and walk 8 hours. So improve a lot.
Your mind become calmer, more stable, less emotional.
Oh yes, a lot more.
Okay, that's good. You have any question tonight?
Did you get my package, Ajahn?
Probably, usually all the packages go to my assistant, and I'll just let them manage because I don't have time to manage them. I just tell them if they can use them, or if they can give it away, give it away. I
Okay.
don't really need anything. But
Yeah,
thank you anyway.
I was thinking that when I sent it. I don't know what to get someone who doesn't need anything.
I might need food, but I have enough food, and you know, the basic necessity of life I have, and it's plenty. Enough.
Okay.
So don't worry about sending me anything really.
Okay. It was
Thank you
a
anyway.
it was a Chalcon no amulet.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think the monk showed me a small coin, right? It looks like a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just asked them. I just tell the monk, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I figured if you didn't want it, you can just give it to someone else and make them
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what level of samadhi do you need to uproot sexual desire?
Well, you need the fourth jhana as a support to your wisdom. You need both, not just jhana alone. If jhana alone, you can only suppress your sexual desire when you enter into jhana. But when you come out of jhana, then your sexual desire can come up again. In order to get rid of your sexual desire permanently, you have to use wisdom when you come out of jhana by seeing the body as being asupa. And then with the strength of the jhana and with the insight of wisdom, you will be able to completely stop your sexual desire permanently. So you need both. You need the fourth jhana, and then you need the wisdom to see the unpleasant parts of the body.
Is it true Moha Charit get lots of abhinya if they get fourth jhana?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard about it, but
This is just a thing I read in maybe the Visuddhimagga or something. What's the difference between just say you feel like sukha, dukkha in the citta? What's the difference between that feeling and the Vedana in the body?
Well, the body is one source of feeling, physical feelings coming from the body. Like when the body gets sick, you get unpleasant feeling. When the body becomes well, you get good, pleasant feeling from the body. But the feeling in the mind, we don't call them feeling, we call them states of mind, like emotions, which is sometimes not caused by the body at all, just by some other central objects. When you see something, you can have good emotion or you can have bad emotion, or hear something or think of something. We call this states of mind. But sometimes people call it the feeling of the mind, the mental feeling, but it's not. It's not feeling, we call it emotion or citta.
So is that a kanda?
It's a what? Candle?
Is it a kanda?
No, it's one of the Dhamma objects in the mind. We call it Dhamma aramana.
It's like aram.
Aram, yes, Tamaram. Aram is emotion, translated into English is emotion. Sometimes you have good emotion, the mind feel happy, the mind feel pleasant, the mind feel restless, the mind feel agitated. We don't use Vedana for it. So we call it Dhamma aramana.
So aram isn't a part of the five khandhas, it's just a separate thing.
It's connected to the five khandhas because what you see comes from the khandhas. What you see, what you hear. It's only when you think that doesn't come from the khandha. Well, it's still from the mental nama khandha. When you think of something unpleasant, your mind can have bad emotion right away. So you can treat it like feeling, except that it's just different. That's all.
Okay. And where does samadhi energy live? Like when we build it up, where does it go? Like when we go to sleep, where does it reside?
There's no place the samadhi reside like the body. Samadhi is not like a body. Samadhi is a state of mind. When the mind becomes calm, we call it samadhi. When the mind doesn't become calm, then the samadhi will disappear.
So when we build a level of our minds through sila and samadhi, what keeps it from falling back?
Mindfulness. We have to keep maintaining mindfulness.
But when we're asleep, what holds it?
Nothing, nothing. Then it's under the control of the karma, the good and the bad karma. When you go to sleep, you have good dreams or bad dreams, from good or bad karma. There's no mindfulness to control the mind at that time.
I see.
Or when you die, same way. When you die, you don't have mindfulness to control the mind.
I see.
And it's the good or the bad karma. Unless the mindfulness on the level of jhana, then that still remain. It will send the mind to the Brahma realm of existence.
Oh. Where do anagamis get reborn?
Same in that Brahma realm, but the cost that send the anagami to the Brahma realm is different from the other, because the other use mindfulness to suppress the defilement, while the anagami use wisdom to eliminate the defilement.
The anagamis experience Magga Samadhi?
Yes, and it's permanent. Once it enter into the realm of Brahma, it will not return it to a human realm anymore. But with the Brahma realm that attained by mindfulness, when the mindfulness weakens, then the mind will return to reborn as a human again.
I see. But does an anagami experience a path moment?
Yes, path and fruit moment, when it has finally got rid of all the sexual desire.
Oh wow.
When you no longer have any desire, any reaction to any images of human, of body.
Do they stop arising in the mind?
Yes, after you have asupa, the asuma will stop any reaction in the mind from rising, from any sexual desire from arising. Every time you see the body, you see both sides of the body, the pleasant and the unpleasant of the body at the same time. You see a complete picture of the body.
So this is after the path moment, the final one.
Yeah, path and fruit moment.
Oh, wow. Sometimes I notice if I'm sitting late at night, my body gets too sore, even though my mind's peaceful. It's not as peaceful as I want, but when I lie down, I can relax. And sometimes when I'm going to sleep, I notice the mind it comes together and it feels really nice. And I'm wondering because I don't think it can be proper samadhi if it happens when you're going to sleep. I wonder if you had any experience about this.
It's just the effect of samadhi that you have before you go to sleep will keep the mind calm when you go to sleep, even though without any mindfulness, because there's nothing to cause the mind to become agitated or restless, except your good or bad karma will take effect. If they take effect, if you might get bad dreams from your bad karma, and you might get good dreams from your good karma. If you don't get any dreams at all, it means your mind remain peaceful and calm from your samadhi.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Anura and Ramya from New Zealand. What time is it for you now?
Hi, good evening, Tanganya. It's just past 4 a.m. in the morning.
Almost time for you to get up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, how are you, Tanganya? We have been conjoined for some time. So I've been busy with work. I've been traveling. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for work.
So everything okay?
Yeah. The practice is not much time I have now, being very busy at work. But Ramya has a good time. She went to Shanti Monastery.
Yeah. Try to do more practice, because you're gonna have to go through your examination soon when your body start to get sick.
Yeah, true. Yes.
So always look at this sickness waiting for you, sickness and death,
Yeah.
and try to create the tools to accommodate them when they happen.
Yeah.
Mindfulness and wisdom.
Yeah. I want to spend more time in meditating, but unfortunately, I
The
have to
work
work.
is
So,
prevent
yeah.
you from doing it. Yeah.
I
Then
have
you
no.
just stop working and just say, then you can then spend all your time on practice.
Yeah, that's a plan, Ajahn. So
Yeah.
maybe a couple of years later. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because working for money is not worth as practicing for Dhamma.
Yeah. I think we will work until we die, so that's a problem.
Yeah. If you don't stop, if you don't make a plan.
Yeah. So I have a plan. Yeah.
Good. All right. Anything you
I
want
have
to
no
ask?
questions, Ajahn. We came to pay respect to you. Thank you.
Okay, good. I'll go to Samanji. Hi, Samanji. Are you hearing? Are you listening? Maybe she's go somewhere. I'll come back to her later. I'll go to Maria first. Hi, Maria. Where have you been? Okay. Are you happy?
Hello, yes. I'm very happy to see you again. And we are
Okay.
again in Thailand on this Dhamma trip. We again have some people. And we are going to visit Wat Yan the day after tomorrow,
I
actually.
see. Okay. You staying at Wat Yan?
We asked the permission to stay, but the assistant said that we are a very big group, like 20 people. So they said that we better not stay this year, but we come to communicate with you, to talk to you.
Okay. You come
So
in the afternoon during my Dhamma talk in the afternoon or in the
the day,
morning?
we want to come in the morning on the
Yeah.
14th. And when do you have Dhamma talk?
I give Dhamma talk on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and Buddhist holidays. But on weekdays, I'll be at the sala, the dining hall. You can see me around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Вопрос есть?
No question?
Точно нет? Вроде.
Точно есть, но я думаю,
They want to ask when they meet you personally, they say.
Okay, fine. We'll talk later then.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Was it 1 year ago that you came here, or more than
Yes,
that?
one year.
1 year
We
ago.
came in March, yes.
Okay, good. How long you plan to stay in Thailand this trip?
This time I stay until the 31st of March, but next year I plan to come for several months and have several retreats, so to deepen
Okay.
my practice.
Good. All right. See you when you come to the monastery.
See you. Very nice
Okay.
to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. Next, Dr. Indira, where's PL? Working, I guess.
Good morning from Toronto, Ajahn. Yes, PL, because we spring forward, the clock changes. So because of
1
that,
hour earlier.
yes. So he has to see some patients, but he was here listening to you. We learned so much from your answers to other people. So thank you so much. Yes.
Okay.
And the practice is going well. We are both, I know him too, and we are both practice. Thank you so much to you with all your advice. Yes, the practice is going well. Thank you.
No question from you.
No questions, Ajahn. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Teran Sarana.
I'll go to Mandy now. Hi, Mandy. Did you find a Bhikkhuni order?
I have found a couple of them. Dhamma Dharani has some ayahs there, and there's Vinchenda in England, and so I've looked into them too. My practice is going well. I can tell the difference between a more challenge, I guess. I'm mindful, being mindful, I would say 80% of the day. And I can tell in my meditation, it fluctuates because I'm still dealing with lay people things. but I can tell the samadhi, and I can tell when that is lasting, and I can tell on those days that my dreams they're so like I was nursing a bunch of children and they weren't mine. And then another one was ordaining in the forest, but still being a lay person, but following. And those dreams just reminded me of how powerful this is, how powerful the mind can be when when I'm following the precepts, when I'm engaging in practice. This week, I have been attending the temple on Thursdays to open Wat Yannasangwararam in Niagara Falls. And the next couple of weeks, I will have to do it on my own for other meditators that come. Other than that, it's just that mind struggle between falling back into why and then combating it with the wisdom and the good feeling, the calm from my practice. I'm really so grateful. And also, I guess a couple questions that were just random. I would know, I guess, if I figured out on my own, but for people who would want to ordain with food allergies, or if you were in the forest walking about as an ordained person, would you be able to pick plants or pick fruit or something if you had to sustain, or is it just going back to civilization where there's more people to give you something?
Well, I heard that if you see some fruits fallen off the tree, you can pick them up, but you have to go and have some layperson to offer to you again. Samantha, you have to turn off your microphone first. We're talking, okay. Mandy, can you come back? Mandy, we haven't yet finished our conversation.
Sorry. Yes.
So as an ordained, we cannot take things and then consume it ourselves. We have to have someone offer it to us in order
Yes.
to prevent from being accusing of stealing. So someone
Okay.
has to give us the fruit. But we can pick up the fruit since we know that it doesn't belong to anybody. But to be on the safe side, we need a lay person to then offer this fruit to us again. Does this answer your question?
Yes, it does. And as far as allergies go, how would someone navigate collecting alms that way?
Or you collect them, but you don't consume them. You give it away to somebody else. That's all.
Makes
Consume
sense.
what doesn't hurt you. Consume
Okay.
things that doesn't hurt you. Things that hurt you, you're not forced to consume them, even if you're given. But you should not refuse anything from people who give alms, unless it's prohibited by the rules, like giving alcohol or something like that. Then we cannot accept them. But if they are food, general food that people eat, whether maybe we are allergic to it, but we can accept them, but we don't have to consume them. The food that we collect from alms, we can choose which one we want to eat and which one we don't want to eat.
Okay. That's the answer. Thank you.
But it should be on the basis of medical, not on pleasure. Don't choose the food for pleasure.
Yeah.
Or not eating that type of, a certain type of food because you don't like it, for instance.
Right.
But you don't eat because it's allergic. You're allergic or harmful to your body.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'll go back to Samanji now. Hi, Samanji. Did you go to sleep? Can you mute your microphone? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Did you go to sleep?
No, actually, we got a visitor,
I see.
so I don't
Okay.
hear. Yeah,
So
I
you
have
have any question?
only 2 questions, Ajahn. Shall I go ahead?
Sure, please.
Is there such a thing as a perfect death?
Perfect death?
Perfect death, does it occur when one passes away with thinking about the Dhamma? A peaceful death, I mean, rather, not perfect death.
Well, all arahants have peaceful death. All noble disciples, they all have peaceful death. They have no worry, no attachment to
Okay.
the body.
Okay, Tanajan. I'm in a normal person. I'm in a normal Buddhist who is not yet an Arahant or even who is not yet a Sotapanna. Like if such a person passes away thinking about the Dhamma, can't you call it a peaceful death?
Well, it depends on whether he has the state of mindfulness enough to contain the defilement that's causing the restlessness and agitation or fear.
Okay. Okay, Tanajan. My second question is 1 meal a day sufficient for a meditator, or is it even suitable for anyone, whether he meditates or not?
Well, normally is for meditators, because if you work, you might use a lot of energy, and one meal a day might not be sufficient
Okay.
to provide the needed energy for your work.
Okay, Tanajan. That's all I have for today.
Okay. See
Okay,
you
thank
next
you
week.
so much.
All right. Next, we'll go to Steph. Hi, Steph. You will move back in the queue. You were up there before.
My kids have to go to school because of the
I
time
see.
change. Yeah.
I see. 1 hour earlier
Mhm.
now. Okay.
I did have a question. Julia kind of was talking about it. I've been meditating a lot more, and my mind is getting quieter. I think you're gonna say, okay. So I don't necessarily have equanimity towards everybody not living in as peaceful as a space. So will that get easier? Because like as my mind calms down, but I'm still living in a house with young kids and people that don't, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's still agitating. What is it?
Yes, yes.
It's just more practice, and that'll start.
Right. The more the practice you have, then the more equanimity you will have, the more calm and content you will have, and the less reaction you will have toward other people or things.
I'm fine by myself. It's with
Yes.
others. Yeah.
When you're with others, you have to be more mindful and more discerning. You have to try to teach your mind to let go. Don't try to expect anything from them.
And I don't want to talk. I never want to I want it so quiet, and it's not everyone feels that way.
No,
Yeah.
when you're with people, then you have to engage with them.
Yeah.
But as little as possible.
Yeah. All right.
Try not to engage can be more frustrating than engaging with them.
Well, yeah, like I'll be just sitting with my husband, and I know he's used to me just like blah, 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 but I don't want to blah, 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 and I don't know. Yeah. So it's just getting used to it.
Yeah, maybe things change, people change also.
Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Who is next on the list? Okay, Belinda from Singapore.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn.
How are you? Good?
I'm well. I have something to
Okay.
share with you. The one of the oldest monk in Wat Ananda, Singapore, one of the oldest Thai temple. He just passed away yesterday at the age of 95. So I visited him this Chinese New Year. He was in the hospital. So I didn't get to see him after the COVID. Yeah. And then now he passed away. So but it's a good old age, 95. But I still feel sad, like a friend, an old friend passed away like that.
The Buddha said, when you see a dead person, you should reflect on your own yourself, that you also will be dead soon.
Yes. Yes.
A reminder, when you see someone die, then this is a reminder to remind yourself that you are on the queue. You're on the waiting list.
I just feel like it's a attachment of Ajahn. You know, you miss the person's form. I know I know he has gone to good place, but there's just feeling of like,
You still have attachment. See? You
Yeah.
don't have enough wisdom or samadhi to cut off this attachment or this desire, this craving.
like this feeling of like, because I procrastinate, I didn't see him. Or sometimes when I didn't purposely like to see him or to visit him. And then when I wanted to see him this year, he's gone. Yeah, so some for regrets, Ajahn.
That's right,
Like,
because you're not being mindful or being what you call being futuristic and looking at the future, that things can change any day, any time. So you shouldn't wait. If you want to do something, do it now while you still can. Don't put things off. The things that you can do it now, because there might not be tomorrow for you or me or anybody. Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Rather than regretting later on, oh, I should have done this or that, but now it's too late. Do it now. What you want to do or have to do. Don't push it off. All right.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you.
Next, Gary, also from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm just happy to be listening in and paying my respect to you.
Okay, good to see you too.
Good to see you.
Next is question from Kunjuk from email.
กราบนมัสการท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ We have 15 questions altogether, and we have 2 questions from Assistant Gmail. The first question is from Yeti. As I meditate regularly, my knowing knows that some of my colleagues use psychic power to benefit themselves in their work. Should I believe my knowing, or am I simply jealous of my colleagues? How do I deal with this situation?
If you don't know for sure, then just ignore it.
Next question is from Linda from Medan, Indonesia. As a wife, what can I do to help my husband to overcome his emotion that makes him feel sad and moody?
Ask him to join you in meditation.
The next 3 questions are from Pauline Soon. Can Ajahn explain about the middle way?
Well, the middle way is between the way of sensual pleasure and the way of self-mortification.
And what is the difference between investigating and contemplating? When to carry this task when in samadhi?
It means study the nature of the body, the feelings, and the mind.
And my understanding is that I cannot meditate longer time unless we enter samadhi. Is that correct?
Because you don't have enough mindfulness.
The next questions are from Christine Koe. Dear Ajahn, I have a question. 1, those who give dana 100 times or 1,000 times, and this merit can't compare, to whom gain the merit enter the samadhi. Is it true, and why?
Because the happiness of peace of mind is greater from samadhi than giving dana.
If a meditator is good at samadhi, will not necessarily to do any more dana because he has gained great merit at samadhi. Is this correct?
It depends on the person. The person might still want to do dana if the person can still afford to do so. But some might might give up all their wealth and then they go into become ordained, and then they don't have to do any dana anymore after they become ordained.
The next question is from Praveen. Bante, can you kindly explain the difference between knowledge and wisdom?
Well, knowledge might not be able to get rid of suffering yet, but wisdom is a knowledge that can suppress or get rid of dukkha, or suffering from the mind.
A question from YouTube. How can we practice Dhamma while working, especially if the job doesn't require much focus?
Well, you have to force yourself to focus on what you do all the time, on what your body is doing or moving. Just tie the body to the mind. Don't let the mind go thinking about other things.
The next question is from Ricardo from Uruguay. We are very happy because today we will go buy tickets to go to Wat Yan in December. My question is, on my daily practice with effort and purpose, the thinking can be stopped. Should the stop thinking come by itself or by effort? Thank you, Thana Ajahn.
Well, at first, if the mind doesn't stop, if the mind doesn't stop thinking, then you have to put an effort to stop it from thinking. But once it stops from thinking, then you don't need to put the effort in.
The next questions are from Sulan. What is the purpose of overnight meditation?
You want to spend more time for meditation and sleeping. That's the purpose. Because you don't get anything from sleeping except resting your body. But if you spend the time for meditation, you might become enlightened from your practice.
What is the right view towards overnight meditation?
It only is done when you're capable of and ready. You don't do it all the time. Sometimes you have strong effort. Sometimes you have strong inspiration, and you feel that you can do more practice. So sometimes you might skip sleeping for some time.
Is it good to challenge ourselves to meditate overnight and then sleep the next morning?
That's not the purpose. The purpose is to sleep less, not to sleep at all for the whole 24 hours.
And the next question from Sulan is, what is the purpose of Buddhist councils, and must one be an arahant to attend? Satu.
Buddhist council?
Yes, Buddhist council.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Just
the body that govern the Buddhist monks?
I think so, maybe, yes.
It's just it's like a form of government. Buddhism is like an organization, and it needs a group of people to oversee the organization that it runs properly. That's all.
The next questions are from Paul Lim. Thana Ajahn, of late, I discovered that when I focused on the breath alone, without using a mantra, I can sustain and prolong my mindfulness for a longer time. When I chant a mantra, it's disturbing and can't take me to my peace of mind. What does the sutta say about Buddhist meditation should be? Thank you.
You can use any method as long as it can make your mind calm. So if you use a mantra that doesn't calm your mind, then stop using it. If you're using the breath that can calm your mind, then use the breath.
I find that when I alternate my sitting meditation of 1 hourly meditation and then follow with 1 hour of walking meditation after lunch is effective to maintain mindfulness in my meditation practice, rather than doing sitting meditation by itself alone. I find sometimes leading to sleepiness. This is my experience. Can you please comment?
No, you just have to adapt or adjust to your situation. If you find walking useful, then do walking. If you find alternating walking and sitting useful, then do both. It's up to you to try out, to experiment.
And the last question is from George Lim. Dear Ajahn, how do we overcome sexual desires if we do not have the 4th jhana and wisdom?
Well, you have to look at the unpleasant parts of the body. Think of the skeleton, think of the intestine, think of the internal organs of the body. Look at the anatomy of the body, for instance. Then you can, if you have this image in your mind, then sexual desire cannot come up.
That is all, ka.
Okay. That's about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is useful to you and can help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, be mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Ajahn. Amin, thank you.
Thank you, Amin.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amen.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.